Hello, this is Tom Christiano from the Chelmsford News, and I'm at Dr. Michael Sargent's office, and he's here with his wife, Joanne Sargent, here in late September of 2020 during the pandemic, which is why they have their masks on. And first I'm going to talk to Dr. Sargent about his facility here and what's going on during the pandemic. And then afterwards, in a separate video, we'll do a little tour of your facility, right,
Sure.
Dr. Sargent?
Absolutely.
And just to let people at home know, who may not know, we just did a nice video and a video tour with Joanne Sargent, who has a beautiful business, Begin With Skin. And I just noticed it's on your face mask, right, Joanne?
That's right.
Great. So Joanne, oh, and they have this beautiful tropical fish, what do you call it? Fish tank here with these beautiful, colorful fish. And you've had this for a long time, right? The fish there and everything?
It's very relaxing.
Very. And would you like to take the mask down so people could hear you better, and Joanne? And Joanne, you're welcome. How long do you have? You could just stay as long as you like or whatever. So, Dr. Sargent, first could you tell us, how long have you had the facility here, Dr. Sargent?
It's probably 30 years in this location. I think it's 37 years total that I've had the office.
You don't look that old, Dr.
Well,
Sargent. Oh my, 37 years you've been a dentist?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
37 years we've been married.
So you got married when you became a dentist, it sounds like. Oh my God, that's fantastic. And you have a nice, beautiful home in Westford, I know, which is very nice. And you both have successful businesses or medical facilities here in town.
We try.
Which is fantastic. Oh my God. So could you tell us a little bit about your medical dental office here, Dr. Sargent?
Well, as in, give me an idea what you'd like to know.
Well, you said how long you've been open. Right? Oh, you redid this facility. How many years ago was that?
This building was redone 30 years ago.
30 years?
30 years ago.
Already? Wow. Time flew by because
Yeah, we were across the street in the Boyd building for the first 7 years.
Oh, I see. And I remember what it was like before. So you did a tremendous service to the town by making this building beautiful again.
Came out
because
nice.
It was quite run down. I took pictures of it when it was run down. They used to have an antique store with old stuff in there, old kind of junk or whatever. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
In fact, you did such a great job redoing this that you won the Guardian Award. Shall we scan to this award that you won from the Chelmsford Historical Society? When was this, Dr. Sargent? Do you know?
Yeah, that was in 2001.
2001, Dr. Sargent won the Guardian Award from the Chelmsford Historical Society. And the Guardian Award is presented to a person or business here in Chelmsford that does a lot to guard what the sires have won, to guard the history of the town of Chelmsford. So that's a wonderful thing, Dr. Sargent.
It was nice. A good picture of Bernie Reddy in there too.
Yes, yeah, I see Bernie when he was the president at that time, because I'm still on the board, Dr. Sargent.
Yeah.
And hopefully next year we could have a farm fair again in September. And our annual dinner, you've been coming to our annual dinners every May of every year. This year we couldn't have it because of the pandemic. In fact, that's why you and Joanne had the masks on earlier. We're taping this in September of 2020. So, Doctor, could you tell us the changes that have been instituted because of the pandemic here in your office?
Well, it makes it tough for everybody because there are restrictions that they put into effect, and I understand why they do all of that to protect the people, the patients that are coming in. But it's hard. You used to be able to just walk up to the door, come in, and be taken care of. Now you have to do things like call from the parking lot on your cell phone. When you call from the parking lot on your cell phone, then somebody at the front desk will answer. They'll ask you a bunch of questions, and then they'll figure out, all right, is this someone who really can come into the building or should be in the building? And they'll go and they'll let them in, but before they come in, they have to ask them a whole list of questions. Are you healthy? When was the last time you were sick? There's a lot of
And
questions.
do they take
What are
the
some of the
temperature as
The
well?
temperature when you're coming in. You can't come in if you have a temperature above 98, 97.
It's the CDC changes it, but I believe anything over 100.4, they are not coming through the building. So
Oh, yeah, no.
we, the alcove behind you is where they're greeted by the respective dental professional, their temperature's checked, they use the hand sanitizer. The COVID questions are asked in the alcove before they enter the main building.
Yeah.
And then they are escorted into their room where their dentist or their hygienist is waiting for them.
Wonderful. And I imagine after each patient, it's cleaned or sanitized, however you do that. So it's been quite a pain, right, for everybody in Chelmsford in the world, right?
It's a pain, but when you look at what happens if you don't do these things,
Yes.
it's worthwhile to do it. We complain about it once in a while, but it's for a good reason.
Yes.
You want to keep people healthy.
And I'll say too, Tom, that one of the things that we did when we reopened back in June when we were allowed to, is we had a really good staff meeting. And one of the things that we took away with the staff was the fact that ever since they got out of school, whether they were a hygienist, an assistant, or a dentist, their world has been all about bloodborne pathogens, respiratory pathogens. So if there's any industry that gets this, it's certainly the dental industry. And so the staff, while a little bit difficult to have to wear additional personal protective equipment, we do it for their safety as well as our patients. But they're okay with it because they understand it's necessary.
Yes, it's a strange times we're living in, right? Throughout the world, the pandemic's going on, but the United States has been hit particularly hard for various reasons. We have about 4% of the population and about 25% of the deaths from COVID-19 in this country, the United States of America. So it's good that we're taking all these precautions, as you said. And Dr. Sargent, when you were closed down, I think you were telling me that you came in anyway, right? To be here in case there was an emergency, is that right?
During those times, not many people were going to work. Not many employees were coming into work because they didn't know if we were going to have anyone to work on. And there was still, the phone was ringing off the hook with emergencies. Everyone was gone, so I figured, all right, I'll come in, I'll answer the phone, I'll check the phone call and the messages. I'll work on some people if they come in, and it worked out good because I got those emergencies off the plate.
Yes.
And we were able to bring in an assistant if we had a lot of people that were coming in. For a while there were quite a few that were coming in, so we'd have to call in some of the assistants and the hygienists, and they would help me out. And at the end of the day, I'd sit there and fall asleep in the chair because it was a long day when you're working by yourself for a long time during the day.
It is.
Especially doing this kind of stuff too. You're one-on-one with someone. It's they don't want to be sick. You don't want to be sick.
Yes.
It was tough, but everyone survived.
And you know, Tom, I'd like to say something interesting too. So everyone's heard about telemedicine, which has become quite popular now because patients are not going into doctor's offices.
Yes.
And we had to turn into a teledentistry model as well because, again, patients would call, and if it was after hours, I would take the phone calls, and I would say to the patient, could you please, here's my cell number, send me a picture of your broken tooth. And that gave us some idea of the severity of the dental crisis, if you will, and he would need to call in a staff member to help him out. We had lots of people falling off their bikes. I know you're an avid bike rider.
Yeah.
We had a lot of bike injuries, outdoor injuries, trampoline injuries, so it was very difficult, but teledentistry was very helpful for us.
Yes. It sounds wonderful, and too bad that these people got injured, some of them, and that's very unfortunate. But you know what's good? That you were here for your patients, both of you. Whenever your clients needed you, you were here for them. And I'm one of your clients as well. And I know you've done a lot of work for me over the years, right, Dr. Sargent?
Yes, I have.
You practically remade, my whole dental structure with implants and everything, right, Doctor? And so I hope you never retire, Dr. Sargent. I won't ask you that, but please stay here until the end for me. But but anyway,
it's got a long way to go, Tom.
Well, I hope so. I'm up to 2,300 miles so far this year, so I'm going to hit my 2,600. It looks like pretty easily, I think. And then it's yard work and housework. That's what my plan is, to catch up on that. Oh, I'm still painting almost every day. Yes. So that's great. So is there anything else we should say before we do a little tour of your office facility?
Again, just to recap that, of course, most patients, when we reopened, were amazing. I think patients recognize the importance of dental health and wanted to come in, and we have had very few cancellations. And what's interesting, Tom, is let's just say someone does cancel. in the old days, we would call Tom Christiano and he would say, oh, I can't come in, Joanne, at 2 o'clock because I'm at work. Now you can say, you know what, I'm working from home and I think I can sneak out for about a 45-minute appointment. So
Nice.
we're able to
Yeah.
fill our schedule quite easily, but I
Yes.
think patients recognize the importance of good dental health
Yes.
and the inflammation that occurs when you don't have good health for heart disease and
Yes.
things like that have made people really make this as important to them as it would be to go to their doctor for their annual physical.
Oh yes, it's very important. I appreciate all the work that Dr. Sargent did for me over the years, and I'm able to eat everything that I want, even though, now I have the implants are just like regular teeth, but more expensive because you're born with your regular teeth, but it's well worth it.
Well, look, you're a good-looking guy now.
Oh yeah, well, we might be exaggerating a little bit there, but thank you. Well, Dr. Sargent and Joanne Sargent, should we do the quick tour of your
Sure.
facility now?
Whatever you
Great.
want.
Thank you.